Elementary and secondary school systems in the United States annually spend billions of dollars on education. This volume of expenditures illustrates that public, non-public, and public charter schools possess massive buying power. Individuals often articulate procurement and purchasing as interchangeable terms, although these expressions hold different meanings. Procurement encompasses several overarching business activities that involve the acquisition of resources, such as market research, vendor vetting and selection, establishing contract terms and conditions, vendor evaluation, and obtaining and storing the resources. Purchasing, by contrast, includes a subset of procurement that simply expresses buying, receiving, and paying for resources. Sound business practices that emphasize legal expert procurement processes and procedures stand as critical intelligences for school leaders to implement district procurement goals that complement the educational mission and execute policies that effectively manage expenses. School administrators must understand and stay abreast of related procurement federal and state laws, review and annually amend accompanying in-house policies, procedures, and processes, develop and adopt an accessible procurement or purchasing manual, educate the staff on district procurement and purchasing routines, anticipate district and school building needs and purchase appropriate resources, and analyze and systematically assess technology systems, educational resources, and expenditure costs. To help in the delivery of a purchasing practices, a procurement or purchasing manual should be available to the staff. Its purpose is to provide uniform procedures to all school district employees when purchasing goods and services. Does your district have a procurement or purchasing manual? And has it been presented to the staff? Salary and benefits typically comprise 80 to 85% of district expenses. Benefits include retirement and insurances, although some discretion may exist for the remaining 15% of district spending. Oftentimes, local, state, and federal mandates impact and limit spending. Expenditures may include purchase services for utilities, repairs and maintenance, and consultative work such as legal and technical services, supplies and materials, capital outlay for the acquisition of fixed assets, including building improvements, construction of buildings, retrofits of existing buildings for energy conservation, renovation, and modifications, and initial purchasing, as well as replacement of land, equipment, and furnishings. Debt service on acquired debt include principal and interest associated with the purchase, construction, renovation, and expansion of instructional facilities. The combined expenditures for salary plus benefits typically average 80 to 85% of a district's entire spending in a service-oriented industry. When a district spends above 85% of the total budget on salary and benefits, the district stands in financial crisis and steps must be immediately seized to reduce these expenses. Compulsory collective bargaining agreements in unionized districts across the country greatly impact a district's fiscal operation. While overseeing personnel expenses, school boards and administrators overwhelmingly desire to offer the staff competitive wages and allowances that permit districts to recruit, reward, and retain the best and brightest employees. However, the school district should assure the public that union bargaining with employees will not exceedingly divert too many dollars from student learning by setting an appropriate direction for collective bargaining with input from the superintendent, CFO, treasurer, negotiators, and legal counsel. Look at these factors that comprise employee expenses and figure your cost to the district. Proficient Lawful purchasing depicts obtaining the best valued resource with the lowest price at the right time for the proper location. An employee requesting a purchase in some districts completes a requisition form and submits it to the principal or supervisor for initial approval. Upon requisition form approval, the principal, supervisor, or business office employee enters the purchase requisition into the purchasing system. The district by law must only purchase items via properly approved purchase orders with sequential numbers. The purchase order formally encumbers the funds by line item appropriation and lists the specific items and transaction terms. The purchase order also confirms to vendors that funds have been encumbered to ensure payment after the goods or services have been received. The CFO treasurer signs the PO to signify funds are available in the appropriate account. The superintendent or designee signs a purchase order to signify that the purchase is necessary and offers the best value. The assigned business office employee then forwards the purchase order to the vendor and starts tracking the purchase. Upon satisfactory acceptance of the purchased items, the requisitioner or a designee sends a copy of the purchase order and signed packing slip to the purchasing office. The assigned business office employee then validates the purchase order against the invoice and packing slip and issues the final payment to signify purchase order fulfillment. Since each district may vary from these practices, what are the purchase order processes in your school district? A blanket purchase order or open purchase order authorize multiple purchases at different times on a single purchase order to the same vendor for a specified time frame. A blanket purchase order eliminates repetitive data entry, increases efficiency, and remains legal as long as the total expenditures do not exceed a minimal percentage of the sum. An after-the-fact purchase occurs when a purchaser accepts a resource prior to the issuance of an authorized purchase order. State laws and board policies differ in ways to deal with an after-the-fact purchase. A purchase order without prior approval is an unauthorized commitment of funds and will lead to an audit finding in most instances. An after-the-fact purchase order in Ohio may become legal when the school board passes a resolution to approve a then and now certificate. Coaches tend to be the biggest violators of purchasing items without an approved purchase order. Because schools operate with limited money, school administrators should be vigilant in obtaining the best prices. A fiscally conservative approach works best even in well-funded schools. Remember, you are spending money that was entrusted to you by the hardworking public who expect you to get the best bang for the buck and provide the best education possible for the students. To efficiently manage school district resources, school administrators must proficiently perform a variety of procurement practices. An accomplished school administrator with skillful negotiation skills save districts thousands of dollars by bargaining lower resource prices than the catalog cost. The ability to negotiate purchase charges and terms proficiently exemplifies a crucial school leadership skill and should not be overlooked by all parties who purchase items for the school. Buying resources in large quantities denotes another strategy to save district money, reduces management time, and portrays smooth deliveries. Standardization of materials, supplies, and equipment may save the district money by reducing inventories and decreasing expensive repairs. When a district standardized purchasing school buses and warehouses similar inoperable manufacturer makes, for example, the district may cannibalize parts from broken buses for repairs to lower costs. Piloting a resource such as a textbook or software before purchasing distinguishes another worthwhile strategy to secure quality assets. A pilot refers to a partnership between a vendor and a school district when the district uses the resources for an extended time without purchasing the item. A pilot typically differs from a free short-term trial because usage in a pilot remains for an extended time, such as a school year. To execute an efficient pilot, a district must set specific goals and verify participants, such as teachers, willing to implement the resources. A district with a pilot should define a sufficient participation time, invest in professional development, arrange a planned conclusion or resource evaluation, and be transparent with interested parties like the vendors, administrators, staff, and parents. Leasing equipment, particularly for technology hardware, constitutes an alternative to the traditional approach of purchasing technology. Avoiding upfront costs, conserving dollars, and instituting consistent payments are benefits of renting resources. By leasing products, a district may offer state-of-the-art technology to the students and staff. Encouraging and utilizing open educational resources illustrate another potential cost savings for school districts. Open educational resources to support student learning may encompass course materials, lesson plans, textbooks, content videos, tests, and software. Districts that employ open educational resources usually shift budgeted dollars spent on textbooks and materials to other educational priorities. Outsourcing or privatizing services attempts to reduce district budgets or improve production by hiring a private enterprise to manage and perform a district's auxiliary service, such as transportation, cafeteria, custodial, maintenance, security, or technology repair. Before outsource implementation, administrators should analyze the reasons and other considerations for outsourcing. Cooperative purchasing. Another form of outsourcing connects a school district with other organizations to acquire resources via an interlocal agreement. Cooperative purchasing agreements offer better prices to participating schools with advanced negotiating power due to aggregated economies of scale versus lone district purchasing. This approach may save the district administrative time because the co-op staff develops, receives, assesses, and selects competitive bids when necessary. Purchasing cards, or P cards, allow school districts to issue electronic payments for expenses, such as conference lodging, gasoline, or supplies. Similar to a consumer credit card, accountable staff members may employ purchasing cards for acquisitions, reducing transactions costs, tracking disbursements faster, leveraging discount buying, and de-emphasizing the need for petty cash remain P card advantages over conventional purchasing. However, the key to success in getting P cards is getting P cards into the hands of accountable staff members, so be cautious. Well-defined procedures for the disposal of surplus, obsolete, and unused assets may be financially beneficial to a district. In accord with state law or school board policy, the district may dispose of district real and tangible property within dollar limitations. Disposal considerations are state law, board policy, community mindset, sorting space, price, and content storage, as well as the necessary planning time to prepare for a sale. This concludes the presentation on conservative procurement practices to reduce district expenses. Thank you for watching.